Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to chapter 217 of My Hero Academia. And if you thought Monoma was going to get Mirio his quirk back, well, you'd be wrong. This is the end of the chapter, but we're just going to start here. So, Eri doesn't really like Monoma, and who would have ever guessed that one? I don't think that's too important, but even Aizawa said him being there alone with her would not be good for her mental health. Even Aizawa's got the jokes in him. So a lot is actually explained about Monoma's quirk. First off, he can't really use accumulation quirks. This would make a lot more sense if we actually had a classification system in this universe like we do in One Piece. But just things like transformation quirks or strength enhancing quirks, anything like that would be a little helpful, but it still does make sense. So accumulations, as in quirks that require some sort of build-up, like One for All had 100 years for that. And I love the example that Horikoshi uses is Monoma just standing next to Fat Gum, big, tall, giant, fat guy, and a rocket is just hitting each of them. Fat Gum is just standing there and taking it like it's nothing, and then Monoma is just being blasted away. Always good to see Monoma blow up. Anyways, he can copy the fundamentals of a quirk, so we see him with Eri's horn when he copied her, and we saw Monoma's skin glow when he copied Deku, so even that part makes sense now finally. I might just have to go back and reread those parts of the fight. And I also love that Deku is just standing there sweating because he knows that Monoma will probably destroy himself if he actually could use One for All. But it's totally a no-go for the copy plan. Then Eri-chan starts weeping and saying that everything would be better off without her quirk, and now I'm just sad now. But young Midoriya jumps in to assure her that her power saved him in the fight with Overhaul, because her power did save him in the fight with Overhaul. Yay, Eri-chan is going to work hard to master her quirk, even though there's absolutely no way for her to practice. But I think this just proves that nobody is going to bring back Mirio's quirk except for Eri-chan herself. So that leaves the question of how Eri's quirk is an accumulative quirk. What is stored up about her quirk? Deku has actual usage from previous users stored up. Fat Gum has physical fat stored up. I think Eri might maybe have emotions stored up. I don't know, because she's very young, and by that I mean she's 6. She has lived in her entire short life with nothing but physical and emotional pain. Overhaul literally killed her probably over 100 times. And I don't think there's any other explanation to what she could be storing up considering she is 6. Or to make things super simplified, it might just kind of have a recharge or cooldown on it. Who knows? Going back to the beginning of the chapter, Bakugo is trying to kill Deku. Woo! I mean, he's just trying to be helpful, I guess, in his own way. If Deku is in mortal danger, then Black Whip will activate. Or that's what he thinks. And Deku just said the presence is kind of completely gone, so I don't know what's going on with this dude. I don't know why they need to flashback this meeting that literally just happened, but it is a flashback nonetheless of Deku, Bakugo, and All Might just in their secret meeting room. As we could already assume, All Might had no idea about Black Whip, and Bakugo just brings up and totally doesn't foreshadow that this has to do with All for One, because he's, well, the one that basically made One for All. Out of anyone's better judgment, I think Deku might find himself meeting with All for One in the prison somehow, someday. We head back to the dorms, and Class A and B are having some good old-fashioned beef stew and mingling on reflection stuff. Mushroom Girl is just fangirling at Tokoyami, asking him for pictures of hawks, which is a little weird. Not the TV. What the crap is Mina doing to Mineta? He's he's in a straitjacket, hooked up to a bunch of wires all over his head. He's being forced to watch something on TV, and okay, that's probably absolutely never gonna be elaborated on. Todoroki then asks Deku about his quirk, thinking it's two, even though it actually is. Deku lies about it, and man, I hope Todoroki joins the One for All secret club. He's rather hiding his suspicion, or he's just denser than a brick wall. And just like that, Shoto decides to text his father for the first time, I think, ever, and says he wants to learn about the flash fire technique. I hope we get like an epic 80s workout training montage. Probably not, but we do get development. Last thing in the chapter, Nezu is getting the paperwork for Shinso's transfer to the hero course. We still don't know what class he's going to be in, and I don't know why we're making that such a big secret and not just saying what class he's going to be in. But Aizawa and Mike walk down the hallways, and Mike starts talking like he always does. He says Shinso is just like he was, and I mean, they're basically twins. They just look exactly the same, baggy eyes, scarf, and he says, "Are you going to do this again, or have you let Shirakumo go?" And it's just, that's a name drop. Who is this? Is this an old apprentice? Maybe he actually had a son. Maybe they're going to be in vigilantes, which I haven't actually read, but will someday. I don't even know what to make of this. We have basically nothing to go off of. Well, that's going to do it for this chapter. We will be on break next week, so plenty of time to let all of this sink in. This chapter seemed a lot longer than usual, and I absolutely loved it. We got some stuff with Iri-chan, we're moving along with One for All and with Todoroki, and then Shirakumo was dropped on us. Well, what do you think about all of this? Which character do you want to focus on in the next arc? Or more, what is the next arc even going to be? Let me know. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, ladies and gentlemen.